Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey, good
Good
morning.
morning.
How are you all doing?
Very good, Walter. Good morning.
Morning, Yuri. Good morning, everyone.
A bit.
Hey, Zipo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey,
Morning.
Mariola. Hey, Rolando. Good morning.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Hanging in here.
Morning.
Very good. This is the part of the program in which you can all be loud before all get muted. Well, it's 9:03, and welcome everyone attending at this moment. We keep admitting everyone else that may need to participate. So I just wanted to make you aware, our good friend Fabian Berne was not able to join us, but he sent us a little video. He's tied up with another commitment, I think. But he has just had this. He thought it was a little later for him, and now it's just a conflict. But he sent us a short video. I'm going to play.
Good morning, and thank you, the Chamber, for inviting me to come and join you this morning in this way with the recording. I wanted to give you an update about COVID-19. As you all have heard before, the mayor has indicated that it's not a date that will decide when we move through phases, but data. And data has shown that there is, although we seem to be in general in good shape, there seems to be an uptick on the 14-day progression. 14 days is important because data is collected and it arrives to the people that analyze the data at different intervals. And so when you have a 14-day curve, it gives you a better sense of how the data is really impacting the pandemic. So that's what we're using, and it shows that it's going slightly higher. So not dramatically higher, but higher slightly enough that being on the side of caution, it's important to do that. We still want people to get tested. The numbers show yesterday's numbers were below 10% increase. 10% is the percentage of people that are sick compared to the people that are tested. I know that some people have said that the more you test, the more cases you find. But the point is the percentage. And so if like 60,000 people have been tested, but 5,000 people are sick, and tomorrow we have 100,000 people tested, but 5,000 people are sick, then the percentage gets smaller, and that tells us how much the disease is expanding or shrinking. Anyway, just get tested, wear a mask, make sure that people that work for you or you work with are following with this, because in the Latino community we are seeing an increase of the cases. Right now we're at about over 1/3 of the people that have the disease are Hispanic, and it is a concern to make sure that people follow the protocols and keep safe. We really can't afford to see our community impacted this way. It's bad for our community to have to bear the brunt of this pandemic. So please make sure that you, if you're an employer, that your employees are following the protocol. If you are going to a store and you see that that store is unsafe because people are not wearing the mask, you don't really want to buy a product there, because there might be somebody there that is sick, and then not only get sick, but the products you're buying when somebody expels the virus, will float and fall on a product that you may be buying next. So for your own safety, try to avoid places that are not being safe.
Good
Okay,
morning.
so good morning.
Good morning. My name is Dottie Lee. I just saw a note from Latanya. She needs a phone number for the interpreter to call in. I'm supporting her here. So
Okay,
if
I am
anybody
giving
who's
her the number to call.
use
Please.
the phone number for it.
Yeah.
We couldn't find it in the Zoom invite.
Perfect.
If someone could get that number, it would be good. Oh, is that the number that you just typed?
Yes.
I will tell her since she's logged out.
Very good.
Write it down and I'll tell her to.
Very good. So what we do here is I'm going to share a screen with
So that is
what
the
we're
Zoom
having today.
number, right?
Okay, so we have here the screen of who we have today, and if you are in the room, please say hi. Well, Fabian is going to be send us a video, and Latani is here, I know. Christy is here, she said hi. Joyce probably will join us in a minute. Marie, I saw you there. Very good.
Hello.
And then Rolando. Very good. Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to.
Okay, so we're trying to go share, and we'll go. I'm going to play a little clip. We're going to talk today a lot of about small businesses. And small businesses are having a hard time, not only reopening, I guess, which we're going to talk about too through Marie, but we are having businesses that are not knowing if it's the right thing to do to open up. So Rolando, can you give us a little recap of what we did so far? Hello, Rolando.
He's on mute.
I think
Can you hear
you're-
me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So one thing that we've implemented in our business that you guys can do in yours is some of the concerns about reopening is, are your workers safe? One thing that a Stanford study has shown is that a lot of people, more people than you think, have already been infected, but they didn't realize they were, and they've already have antibodies. So if you go to the science of it, when we're doing a vaccine, what we're doing is giving a little bit of the whatever, if it's COVID or whatever virus it is, your own immune system builds up to that, so that if you're infected again, you already have immunity to it with antibodies. Now, if you've already been infected with a lot of people are coming up to me and say, oh, in January, I felt a little sick. And what we're finding is that group probably did already have COVID and already have the antibodies. So Stanford study showed it could be up to 20% of people that claim that they weren't sick actually have the antibodies for COVID. So if that's one of the things that you're worried about, you can always get your employees and yourself tested. I went through, and basically all you're doing is just giving blood. We send that off to a lab, and 3 days later you'll get a result. So we did that in our clinic, and I have antibodies to COVID, and I was never sick. So it just shows you that, again, more people were probably infected that weren't. And then if you're worried about with your the people, your patrons that are coming in to use your services, there's all sorts of ways that you can make your place safe. And I've got a list of those. So one of the things that we did is adopt contactless pay capability. So there doesn't have to be any kind of exchange of paper or credit cards or anything. It's completely contactless, utilizing Apple Pay. Getting masks, those are easier to get. If you can't get any masks, I've been giving masks to Yuri to give out to businesses so that they can give to their employees, so that you're showing that your patrons that you are doing everything you can to stop spread. So I would open I would not keep your business closed. It's a law of physics. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. If you stay closed for too long, it's going to be much, much harder for you to gear everything back up and open, and you're going to find that you're going to lose clients because they're not going to think you're open.
Very good. Thank you, Orlando. I'm going to invite, no, let me play a little clip first, and then we go from there. We talk about businesses and how they are doing and how they're fighting to keep in business. So I hope you enjoyed this.
Well, every week, our Big Joe goes all over Middle Tennessee to show you how people are getting fit and staying healthy as part of his Workout Wednesday. And this week, he's putting on the gloves and getting to work.
Well, this is the Boxing Resource Center in West Nashville. Now, the story behind this building is as cool as the workouts that go on here. And who knew that boxing fitness is all the rage once again?
Boxing fitness is the rage because people get a very efficient and effective workout in a small amount of time. They're getting their cardio, they're getting resistance training, all in one package. And it's a lot of fun.
Used to be an intimidation factor when somebody walked into a boxing gym. That's not happening anymore, is it?
We have eliminated all of the intimidation from boxing completely. You come here, you're welcomed no matter what your goal is. We want people to have a great experience. We want to help people reach their goals. So we have people starting from basically coming off a couch all the way to amateur boxing.
This is not your typical gym. Tell me the history behind the Boxing Resource Center.
We're in our 19th year. This is our 5th location in the city. We've moved around over those 19 years. We're calling this facility our Fighters Facility because everybody is fighting for something. We are so excited about this facility. We've got 7,000 square feet. Everybody has plenty of space to move around. The entire thing was designed by me, so it's ready for competition for competitive boxers, and it's ready for fitness boxers as well.
And I took the class. Let me tell you what, I'll never look at a workout the same way again. In West Nashville, Joe Dubin, News 4, Nashville.
And since we have the founder and owner, Christy Halbert, here, I'm going to unmute her so she can tell us what we were not hearing in this video. And a little bit of a story because we go a way back too.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Yes, we go way back. Even the grand opening of our first official location many years ago, Boxing Resource Center, we are in our 19th year. We are a nonprofit organization, and we moved into our new facility just recently. We started rehabbing an old steel cutting facility in September, and we were ready to open in March, and we had the tornado and we had COVID. So I appreciate Ronaldo's comment earlier about staying in motion. That's exactly our philosophy. And so we have attempted now to have our official opening. That clip was from WSMV on Wednesday. They came for the morning show, and we had a very good time with them. In our facility, in our program, we have taken the Tennessee Pledge. So our employees wear masks and take temperature daily. We have a contactless thermometer to take the temperature of patrons coming in. And we, of course, maintain social distancing. Our water fountain is for emergency use only, so we don't have people congregating at the water fountain. So we've taken all of our precautions. We feel very good. But I would say we really have kind of 3 pressing issues on our end. The first is that despite all of this, our employees are still very nervous and anxious. They feel vulnerable because they don't know who's coming in, and even though our facility is very large, we have 7,000 square feet, we have open doors, we have air moving, still they hear things in social media, on television, and so they're very concerned. And then I would also say another concern is that we are at, because we're in phase 2, gyms are at 50% capacity, and yet our rent, our utilities, our payroll, our obligations are at 100%. So we're seeing a mismatch there. And then the marketing efforts that we're continuing with, right now they feel a little fruitless in some ways, because people are either afraid to come out to some businesses or feeling financially insecure. So I would say that those are our primary concerns right now.
Thank you, Christy. And well, it's literally fighting to stay in business. But this is a nonprofit also, and I'd like to welcome here Shalene, who also we have a long time relationship with Shalene. She used to serve on our board of directors back in the day. Shalene, how are you doing?
Good morning, Yudi and everybody else. I'm doing well, thank you.
So anything you want to tell us about? I know you've been pursuing being part. Tell us your role here and how is it this comes together and connects with the Boxing Resource Center.
Yeah, thank you. So I serve as community liaison for the nonprofit, and as Christy and Yudi mentioned, I think back in 2005, the NAHCC had an event or two at the facility it occupied over there on Harding. Christy, as head coach and executive director, has always had a passion for inclusion and community building, and so we have had, as the nonprofit, many activities in the community, building relationships with different schools. For a few years we did an after-school program, and we're continuing that. As soon we'll start that back up with students mostly from Glencliff. We've had open doors. She has established a really healthy and proactive community that really makes boxing and its benefits accessible to the community, and not only the physical wellness but all other aspects. So it's not uncommon to see people, she often says a boxing gym is one of the most diverse spaces we can have here in the United States, really anywhere, and her strong commitment to reaching out to different members of our community. We've had bilingual programs from the beginning, and also a real effort to bring boxing to the community in very, I would say, creative and productive ways. So it's been a really good run, an honor to be involved with this organization for almost 20 years, and we look forward to this next phase. I think we're excited about our continuing partnership with you because we have some of the same interests in mind. I think we're completely aligned in terms of wanting to create a better quality of life for everyone in Nashville, and this new facility marks a new step in the chapter, or new chapter in doing just that.
Thank you, Shalene. And this is going to be perfect to welcome board member Joyce Searcy, who is also a small business owner, because this is about small businesses, women-owned businesses, Hispanic-owned businesses, hopefully. But Joyce, good morning. Let me unmute you here. Okay, there you go.
All right. Well, thanks for having me in a different capacity. You all know me working at Belmont University, but in the 80s, I was on the national board of the YWCA, and the YWCA, you know, it serves women, but the women, even before I got there, passed something called the One Imperative, the elimination of racism wherever it exists and by any means necessary. And we received anti-racism training, and I know even the women then were addressing the whole issue around gay and lesbian women, and I got trained to be the heterosexual spokesperson, to appear on videos, to do training for all of the local chapters. Well, that was my volunteer job. as part of being on boards. But it was later on, much later on, that I got asked to develop class for something called Young Leaders. You all may be familiar with that, which was starting under the umbrella of United Way. And I developed a class and did it for many, many, many years. But it was like, I've been getting so many requests from the people who had been in my classes who were now at companies and felt that their companies needed training in diversity, equity, and inclusion, that I decided to develop my own company, and the company is called Momentum. Because I have been doing public speaking for as long as I can remember, but I decided to stop giving myself away and help me prepare for retirement. And, you know, I was doing it for young leaders, speaking everywhere for free. And a law firm gave me a call and asked me would I do their training. So when I went in to do the assessment for them, I found you just don't need training, you need policy development, you know. So I'm working with them to do training. And then I got a call from someone working with the state of Tennessee wanting to know what I would do training for 60 middle level managers for the state of Tennessee, and did that. So now I'm getting calls all over the place, and you know, it's taken off.
And this is how we see, thank you, Joyce, this is how we see that we have to reinvent ourselves sometimes, or just bring that great project we've been thinking about for a long time and fits right in right now, given the circumstances. And I think that we're gonna find out as time passes. I'm gonna invite, because we have to continue with the program and also have our SBA District Director Latanya Channel to give us a quick update. But I'm gonna just give the mic to Marie Swing with the Nashville Convention and Resource Corporation for a quick update about the Good to Go program.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Wonderful. Okay, so back in, it's been about maybe 2 months now. As you know, the CDC is the marketing arm of the city for tourism. And so, like every other industry, we have been hit really, really hard. And that, you know, we're talking about hotels, we're talking about restaurants, we're talking about attractions, we're talking about music and entertainment and everything in between. So, but as we knew that Nashville and the country would begin to open at some point and start going through the phases, the Nashville CDC partnered with Vanderbilt Health and Ryman Hospitalities, who, you know, has a Grand Ole Opry and Ryman and all that, to come up with a program to help our local businesses, not just our members in the hospitality industry, but local businesses, no matter what kind of business you have, to provide information and to help you as you reopen and plan to keep your employees and visitors that come to the city safe. Because what we know is, just from talking to clients all over the country, the current clients that we have that already have business on the books, clients that have had to cancel their conventions this year, as well as clients that we are targeting to bring to Nashville, they are all looking at every single city that they have interest in doing business with and bringing their conventions and meetings to say, what are you all doing to make sure that if and when we come to your city, that you're going to take the safety of our attendees seriously. And so I'm going to read real quick from the Good to Go program on the Good to Go website. I will mention to you, this is the first and only program in the country of its kind. We like to be trailblazers in Nashville. But Good to Go means better than ever. It's a new, and it's a free program designed to help Nashville's businesses in every industry keep Music City safe and healthy. Every Nashville business has a vested interest in restarting the city's hospitality engine, so every business should do its part to keep employee, visitor, residents, and community health top of mind as the city starts to welcome guests again. Good to Go provides coronavirus resources, information, and support from leading infectious disease experts to help your business confidently and safely reopen. Research points to the fact that people want to know if a destination is taking safety precautions before traveling. I'll skip down a little bit. Participating in Good to Go means being part of heightening Nashville's universal appeal as a captivating destination, relocation option, and a place to call home. Ours can be a post-pandemic future where staying safe and staying open are one and the same. So we sent this information out. I know the mayor did a press conference, I think it was on May 28th, and we sent this information out, and we continue to send it out. We sent it out to the chambers and just different organizations, and I'm still digging and finding businesses that may or may not be parts of chambers, but that could be, you know, you really utilize this information. My husband is a business owner. He is an insurance business owner, and he has also gone through the program. So what it is you just go online to the goodtogonashville.com. There is an orientation video, and then you take a pledge. At that point, you do get the toolkit, and the toolkit involves additional training videos. And I'm going to, give me 1 second, give you some of the program benefits. Good to Go signature green music note decal will be listed in the business listing on Good to Go website. Access to the program toolkit and materials on infectious disease prevention and workplace safety informed by Vanderbilt experts. Insights into best practices from Ryman Hospitality property leaders. Monthly calls with fellow Good to Go participants. Timely access to Vanderbilt Health infectious disease professionals for questions, and then promotion by of the program by the CBC marketing engine. So, you know, there's no downside to this. It's something that we highly recommend, and we do have the information in Spanish. We are working on getting the actual training videos in Spanish as well. So I told Yuri I would keep him posted on that. But
that would be great, Marie. Thank you. We have sent the information to members, and we will continue doing that. We'll just get some updates as it goes on. We include those links. I took the preview or the orientation and also went to the first session. It was wonderful. I'm gonna have access to those videos and share them. And we're gonna thank you so much for that, Marie. I appreciate you being with us this morning. I'm gonna pass the mic to Latanya, or Tennessee SBA Director Latanya Shallow. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, Yuri. Thank
Yes,
you.
very good.
So if you see me talking in the phone, it's because we have an interpreter, and the interpreter is actually on the phone. So he will speak to interpret what I'm saying on the call this morning. Thank you for that, Yuri, to make sure we have one on today.
Yes.
So a real quick update on PPP. So as you know, a lot of businesses have been trying to get PPP loans and also the EIDL loans from SBA. Let me just make sure the interpreter can hear me. Are you on, Gilbert?
Yes, we can hear you.
If you can speak up, Gilbert, that would be great.
Yes.
So let me.
Go ahead. Latanya. Yes. Latanya, I think you should go with the brief update you want to give us.
Okay, don't worry about it, Gilbert. We'll take care of it. You know, yo hablo español, pero for SBA programs, Yuri, I don't even try to speak.
Oh, wow. Hey, we are in the same boat.
Would not be beneficial for anybody. I was fluent 30 years ago, but not on SBA programs. So anyway, let me just give you a quick update. So for PPP loans, as some of you have probably seen in the news, last Friday, the president signed a new piece of legislation with bipartisan support. It's called the Ppp Flexibility Act. And quickly, I will let you know what that did. So it changed the maturity date on the PPP loans from 2 years to 5 years to pay back that loan if it becomes a loan. Reminder that the PPP is the loan that can become like a grant, meaning you don't have to pay it back if you meet certain criteria. But if it does move forward and continues as a loan, you can pay that back in 5 years instead of 2. You do have to negotiate with your lender on that to make sure it's mutually agreeable to you to go to the longer term of 5 years. And remember that loan, if it becomes a loan or any portion of it becomes a loan, is 1%. The other change that happened last Friday is the deferral on the payment of principal, interest, and any fees is now deferred to 10 months. But what that means is it's 10 months from the end of the period for which you had to spend the funds. So as you know, it was 8 weeks, you received the loan, and you had 8 weeks to spend the funds to fund your payroll and any other business expenses. As of Friday before, after the piece of legislation was signed, you now have 24 weeks to spend those funds. So what that means is you have the 24 weeks after you get the loan dispersed to you, and then 10 months after that before you start making payments on the loan. We had some confusion on this piece because we were not sure if interest was continuing to defer, but we found out just yesterday that yes, be mindful that over that 10-month period, interest is still to accrue. Interest is still accruing on that period. But again, you now have 24 weeks from when the loan is dispersed to you. Also, there was a change to what we call the period to determine if you had any issues of a criminal record. That has been changed from looking back to 1 year instead of 5 years. So that's the really, really quick update on the PPP. On the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which we know is delayed and which we know has a backlog. So I can apologize for the best that I can on behalf of my agency on that. You know, we don't have any role at the local office on the process, but we are hearing from businesses that many businesses are finally getting notification that they've been approved for the loan. We're hearing from businesses that have been denied, so please take advantage of the reconsideration. You can reach out to my office to help you figure out what that process looks like. And also, there were businesses that have received the part that does not have to be paid back, the advance. A lot of businesses don't realize that they have it because there was no notice. So the quick and dirty on all of this is call my office at any time. We do have the ability to have an interpreter. If you call instantaneously, we can have an interpreter that we can call to assist. Also, starting next week, every Tuesday and every Thursday at 2 o'clock, we're going to do a live webinar. It's basically call us and ask questions, and we'll answer questions on all of this, all the changes, all the delays. If you have an issue with your EIDL loan, we can see if we can find another way to get you access to the loan processors. So again, Tuesday and Thursday, starting next week for the entire month of June, at 2 o'clock, we're resuming those office hours where anyone can call in and anyone can ask questions and get help. But don't forget that every day from 8 to 4:30 and sometimes well into the night, you can call our office at 615-736-5881, and everyone on my staff has the same information to help you.
Zenia, thank you very much for that. That's good news. I know that your office is being very diligent in assisting not only some of our members, but also the people that we have referred to you, to your office. And I know that we can at least know that we can get an email back and some information. So I know we're working on having these updates or a session for repayment of PPP in Spanish. Just one last quick question for a quick answer, because we're running out of time. About if I have a question here on the chat room, if that can be applied using the ITIN number.
I don't have an answer to that question, and I think I promised to get the answer to that. My understanding was that it could be, but I'm going to get you a definitive answer no later than Tuesday morning. I'm going to say Tuesday because I got to reach back out to folks on Monday, but I'm going to shoot it up today because people are working over the weekend.
Very good. Thank you so much, Latanya. I think I have someone raising their hand. which is our immediate past chairman, Mario Ramos. Let me unmute you, Mario. You can ask your question. Go ahead.
Yes, Yuri, thank you. And, thanks for information on the seminar. It's been very good. Actually, as an immigration attorney, it's really strange because I'm not really seeing a slowdown in business. My clients are so terrorized from all the policies in place, they have no option but to go forward. So it's really a strange situation in terms of my internal business. I do want to pick up on one thing that Rolando said and also Joy said, and even what the lady said from the Convention Vista Bureau. The whole protest in the city now in terms of Black Lives, Nashville has a very strong narrative of the whole civil rights movement. And, when we open up again as a city, that narrative, it was two narratives. There was ones for and against before. But now that narrative is continuing. And I think we have an opportunity as a chamber to come out and try to help give maybe a third narrative. And the third narrative would be, how can we hopefully bring a change about, as opposed to the two sort of competing narratives that sort of continue to go forward. I think it's something that we should think about maybe doing a Zoom meeting on. We can invite, or certainly people who are the actors who are really not dialoguing very well among themselves, in terms of currently on different sides. But there needs to be a third narrative. And I wonder if that's something we could explore. It's an uncharted course, so to speak, but Nashville has a rich and powerful history. The center of civil rights and nonviolent movement, I think it's something we should think about.
Well, thank you very much, Mario. I think that's a great idea. We're going to be posting this video on our social media pages and other channels that we have, so people can really take advantage of this great meeting. I think there's great interest in the Boxing Resource Center. I'm already getting chat messages here. And I'm going to visit. I need to get back in shape. I need to do something with my energies that I've been for months there. And I know Rolando is a fan of that. So Rolando, chairman of the NAHCC, give us your final comments. Let me unmute you. Hold on. I think
I think what Mario said is perfect. We do have an opportunity to help bring sides together. I think everybody agree. I think you can get. I have people in all different political spectrums who are my social media friends. And when I just sit down and talk to them, they all have very similar views on humanity. And I think if we can just sit down and talk about how we're similar and not how we're different, we could really push this forward. One last thing I wanted to tell people is, look at the Harlem Children's Project. It's something I just learned about here recently, and how they're actually bringing about change in their neighborhood and how they're trying to get equality and combat racism. So I think there's programs out there that we and this is a business partnership with the community. And I think we can learn from some of these business partnerships and bring that to Nashville as well.
Thank you, Orlando. And I hope to see you all next week at 9 a.m. as usual. And please support the small businesses. We are all here together. We're trying to do our part for this. So thank you for being a part of this call. The call has reached their maximum time allowed. And I think this is great content. We still have a few things that we haven't shown, but please check out the chat room for a few more seconds where SBA has posted their information and where to call, and the office hours as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Karina. Karina's going to give us just a written report after this.
If you want the blood test, you can just message me and we can get you an antibody blood test.
Definitely, that's what I need to do now. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Until next week. Adiós.
El COVID-19 nos está probando a todos, nuestras comunidades, nuestra economía y nuestro estilo de vida. Puedes ayudar a Tennessee a ganar esta lucha protegiéndote a ti mismo y a tus seres queridos. Hay pruebas gratuitas del virus COVID-19 aún si no tienes síntomas. Si tienes dudas, hazte la prueba. Para encontrar los lugares donde se hacen la prueba del COVID más cerca de ti, por favor visita tn.gov/getatest. Información patrocinada por el estado de Tennessee.